Hi, my name is Roger Schluter. This video is more light in structure, and it is basically called The Bad and the Ugly at Banks. And basically, it is, I've worked at a number of banks, mainly small banks. I worked at a couple larger banks. But these three examples are banks being human, but really they're being less than human. So anyway, there are three different situations that I ran into that maybe I was just young and didn't know about some of them, but some of them I thought were just downright bad. So anyway, the first of these is I was working at a small bank, and I had we're always looking for loans and looking for people, and I had a gal at my desk that was just absolutely beautiful. She was just the best looking gal you ever saw, and she wanted a loan. And matter of fact, I don't think I gave her a loan. I don't think I intended to. But anyway, my boss saw me over there, and he saw me talking to her. And then, a little later, he goes, "Oh, come in here." And I came in his office, and he goes, "You gonna make that loan?" And I said, "Nah, I don't think so." And he goes, "That's a leg loan." He goes, "Yeah, you can make a leg loan." I'm thinking, is he just trying to pull my leg, or whatever? So anyway, that's a leg loan, is when it's just and I guess it could go reverse, but it shows you how a lot of male bankers can be very chauvinistic, or have been in the past. This was a couple years ago. But anyway, whereas a good-looking female, a male banker could make that loan just because she's a good-looking gal. And I guess nowadays the reverse could be true. We do have more women as loan officers, and I guess they could do the same thing. But I tell you, some of the things that I thought were kind of funny back then. I mean, I'll mention to my daughter, and she'll just yell at me, I mean, just tear me up, because they are chauvinistic things to say. And a lot of times, in the past, we didn't really realize it. You didn't think it was that bad. So anyway, that's the first situation. The second one, I was working at a bank, and I had a motel loan. And if you know, most of the small motels are owned by the Patels, which I don't think is I don't think they're all related, but I think it's kind of a thing in India of the way they it's either when it was in the caste system or something. But anyway, a lot of Indians from India own motels. So anyway, I had a motel loan, and the basically the second person in command at the bank, he came to me and he goes, "Well, what kind of Indian is he?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. What kind of Indian? I don't know. He's from India." And he goes, No, what kind of Indian is he?" And I go, I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "There's really only two kinds of Indians." He goes, "There's the ones that keep up their property and do a good job. And then there's the ones that just don't fix anything. They let their property go to hell. And then we get it, and 5 years later, they're throwing it back to us, and we're liquidating on it. And there's nothing there, because it costs more to put it back together than it is." And he goes, "So you got to figure out which kind of Indian he is." And I'm sorry, but I thought that was terrible, and I didn't. I really thought, how could you be that way? And I know how they get that way. Usually, it's they've had a bad loan with a certain type of individual, and so they think all those individuals are bad. But anyway, it pretty much, I was very surprised, and I didn't agree with it at all. I think we look at most people as good, upstanding people that will take care of their properties. The third one, and let me say, these are three different banks. They're all small banks, but and I still think small banks are the best, even though these happen to all three small banks. Small banks are the best because they will, and especially if it's a community bank will really try to make the loan work. Whereas a lot of big banks, I mean, I had a friend that told me when I worked at a big bank, and he basically said, "Run the credit first, you'll be able to turn it down." So it's just like, he was hoping the credit was bad so he could turn it down, so he didn't have to mess with this small loan. So anyway, I think small lenders are better because they'll make any type of loan, and they will try to make the loan. Sometimes we'll even, if you go into a small bank, they'll even turn around and say, hey, do this and this and this, and we can make this loan. I saved the most, what I thought was hideous one for last. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's not funny at all. But anyway, if you know St. Louis, and I'm from St. Louis, St. Louis, it has on the east side, it has the Mississippi River. So most of the city of St. Louis is on the west. You've got East St. Louis, but that's not part of Missouri, and it's not part of what we call St. Louis. So then you got the metropolitan area, and that's the county. You've got southern parts going into Jefferson County, and then you have the west. And then you've got North City, or North County. Most of the, I hate to say it, but most of the growth areas have been to the west and to the south. The earlier parts of the city were the north. And you kind of, I think it was during the late 60s or whatever, where you had white flight or whatever, where they were moving to different parts. And so in St. Louis, we've really had a lot of the minorities that settled in the north part of the city, North City and North County. So anyway, I was working at a bank which is in West County, and it was a growing area. So anyway, I had a loan, and it was, I actually knew the person's, I think it was a cousin of a person I already did a loan for. And so anyway, I brought this loan into the bank, and we're sitting in the boardroom, and I'm telling them about the loan. And then all of a sudden, one of the bankers says, "Is he Canadian?" And they all kind of chuckle, and I'm looking at him like, "What do you mean, is he Canadian?" I don't know. I mean, he's a citizen. And then I was kind of thinking, well, were they talking hockey or something? I mean, I don't really know what they were talking about. And then he goes, "No, is he Canadian?" And then finally they said, "Is he from North City, North County?" And then I finally got it. They were just trying to see if he was a minority or not. And to me, that just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if those kind of jokes shouldn't be in the bank boardroom. They really shouldn't be at a bank at all. So anyway, that was one of the ones that really got me. I was just like surprised. And these people were important people in the community. They were people with big loans and big balances at the bank. Most directors are. So anyway, that's the last one. Is he Canadian? And I was appalled. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't really stay at this bank very long, but it wasn't because of that. It was just because of I just moved on eventually. But anyway, like I said, these are 3 different banks. They're all small banks, but I still love small banks. Small banks are gonna make exceptions for you, and they're gonna help your loan be made. So anyway, the bad and the ugly banks are just like regular society. They can be good people, and they can be kind of nasty people. So anyway, thank you very much. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button. And then if you want to hear more content like this, not like this, but more content about banks and about lending and about commercial lending, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell. Anyway, thank you very much.